Okay, we have a question of how we can build this house to brick dimensions. So there isn't a good way of doing it in Revit, but there is a bit of a workaround. Let's go to show the work plane here. So you get that sort of work plane thing happening, which is basically a grid. Then zoom out and click on the perimeter of it. All right, and then you get this in the properties. Now here you can make it so it's 240, it's a brick sort of dimension, or you can make it half a brick dimension and make it 120. It's got 120, but you can't control the, it's got to be a square thing. It's not different to X and the Y. Now that's, I don't know what, it was 2000 before, so obviously it's like too dense to show, but if we zoom in we can see it better. So there you go. It so happens that this side of the wall, I'll just take thick lines off. This side of the wall is almost on a brick dimension, it's not quite. Just in general, we'll have a look on the other side. Alright, so the width of this building is probably very close to being a brick or within half a brick dimension. So the rest of it, if it's only a few mil out, the bricklayer will just adjust the vertical mortar joints to make it fit to 15,000 millimeters. Alright, so how do we move this thing around? Alright, so you can move it in theory. Click on here and go move, and then you can pick it up from, I think, here somewhere. So I can place it at a particular corner. So I'll pick it up from that corner. I should be able to place it there. There you go. So now I'm starting from a known position. You can move this thing around to do the horizontal and the vertical wall or any other wall. You just have to keep moving it around. But now I've got that set out one end. Let's see how far out we are on the other end. Alright. So okay, so he's going to have to, or she, will have to squish up. It has to, how's it going to do that? Because it's got a bit left over. How much is it? We'll have to squash up the mortar joints rather. So let's have a look. 10 millimeters we're out, which is fine. In fact, we are exact, because the last brick has to be 230, not 240, because normally if you continued on over here and put another brick here, you have a 10 millimeter mortar joint, but we're not continuing on. So the last brick hasn't got an added 10 millimeter joint. So we're right. In theory, if we divided this here, which is 15, I think, by 240 odd, what do we get? Oh no, it's not 15, it's 13,190. Okay, so maybe this was built to the brick dimensions. Calculator. Alright, so we'll go 13,190 divided by 240. Alright, so it's 55 bricks almost. But so 55 bricks, so if we go 55 times 240 is 13,200, which is, it's exactly to a brick dimension, this one. So we're right. There you go. Someone who designed this decades ago might have had a bit of foresight for that, I suppose. Let's go this one here. Okay, so that there is 8,790. Again, that sounds like it might be right. So yeah, so you just have to zoom in. If I have a look, it's already right on that corner. So if I zoom down here, okay, it looks, no, maybe it's not right. This one here is out by a bit. So you either adjust your building, or that's 30 millimeters out. So over the length of this, There's a number of bricks. So I'm not going to count now, but you have to make that up. All right, so that's how you move that around basically. So we managed to put a dimension here. Now we want to work out how many bricks it is for that dimension. So let's go with this one here, dimensions, modify. You go to alternate units, turn them on. Then you want to put you might want to put it next to the dimension, but usually for smaller lengths there's not enough room, so you might want to put it underneath. So you can click below, so it puts it underneath. Alright, so here what we can do, this one it's geared up for imperial. So you can have it display the imperial dimension next to it, but we're going to make it so it displays brick dimensions. And brick dimensions are 240 on our average. So you could do it so you went 1 divided by 240 and enter, it puts that number in. Or I suppose if you wanted to show even half bricks, you could go, no, I was going to say, no, that's fine, 1 divided by 40, that's fine. I was going to say 1 divided by 120. So that's the number that it puts in anyway. You don't have to worry about that. It's a recurring number there. And around distance, that there we'll have a look in a minute, but I think you probably want to do it to 0.0 there, that's fine, but this one here, maybe if we get half a brick, we'll see what happens. Yeah, so that's about it. I think we'll just have a look at that. Where other formats are there? Scientific, engineering, architectural, could go architectural, that's inches. But it gives you, no, that's stacked. What's engineering? That's like that. We'll leave it at decimal for now. Scientific, what's scientific got? No, I'm looking for like a half. Anyway, let's go with that decimal. So if we OK that and close that, it tells us that, and you can have well, it puts the brackets in. It's an alternate dimension. It's 55.0 bricks. If I just muck around with this dimension for a minute, just if I was dimensioning to there, that's 52.1 bricks. 53.5 bricks there. So it gives it to you like that, but you probably want to round it up to the nearest half a brick, I suppose. I don't know. But if I dimension another one over here, what do we get here? To there. Okay, that one is 36.6 bricks. So anyway, that's the idea of that. So now this is if I wanted to copy this dimension into another drawing now after setting it up, you could just basically go Control C and select that, enter, and I can just I've got another drawing open, get a brand new drawing. Now what I would do, because every drawing has got this thing annotative, I shouldn't, it won't work. So really it has to be a unique name. So I'll just rename this here. I should be able to possibly rename it. Might let me. It's a standard name that AutoCAD has, so it might not let me. So I'll go new. I'll call it, I'll call it brick dims or something like that. It's a new name. Continue. All right. It should be all the same. So it's a thing called brick dims. So I'll just have to make a dimension in brick dims. Close that. Actually, I'll just put these in brick dims, for example, and then they're in brick dims now. So no other drawing in theory should have brick dims in it. We might want to tidy this up a little bit before we go further, because if we're going to use it down the track, I only just did very quick changes to the original one, but you need to go to lines they've got to extend past usually about 2 mil. Alright, so let's make it a bit better. Close that. Oh, sorry, we need the other ones as well. Which ones are they? Baseline, extend beyond ticks, 2 mil. Alright, something like that. Okay, that. Close that. Looks a bit better now. Alright, so that's what we want. So now what you do is just Control C, just one of them, enter, to a new drawing, and you can use anything. You know, let's go with the ACAD ISO, which is the metric version, and Control V. It comes in there. So I now have a dimension style here called brick dims. I have to just set a current to use it, modify, and all the settings should be in there as we had them before. And you can just away you go and use it. All right, so that's it. If you wanted to save this drawing as just that, you could, for example, save it. We'll just call it brick dims. And I'll make it back to a previous 2004 version so that anyone else can open it. Alright, so that's that. Now, if I had a drawing that's existing, for example, a different drawing, I'll just close this drawing and I want to save it, for example, open it up again, and we'll go here, this one. I haven't got any dimensions in theory. If I go here, brick dims, no brick dims. So if I go insert and I go and browse in my my documents, I should have one called brick dims. Just make this a bit bigger. It is brick dims. Insert. Doesn't matter where you put it. You're not even going to use it. There it is. Erase that now. The only problem I can see here is that the text is different. That's because I'm using a notative text style, so it's an adjustment to be made, but we'll fix that up in a minute. So here you go to brick dims, and the adjustment we need to make, unless I fix it in the meantime, is to modify that and go to text and set, because I'm using, am I using Arial or? I'm using a notative, but I think I have to go in here and just set that to Arial font. That's all you need to do. Alright, so that'll fix that up. But in essence, it should come in alright if we had it sorted. Close that. Okay, that. Close that. So now I should be able to go like that, like that. Should be. One thing, we need to set the scale to 1:100 to use it. Alright. And then it should work. Alright. Anyway, at 1:1 though, just zoom in and do a 1:1 dimension, there to there. You can see it's 110, it's a half a brick. Okay, which it is. Okay, we'll leave it at that. So back to the Revit, we could realign our windows so they're more in the brick, in tune with the bricks. So we can, be it half a brick, it doesn't matter. If we move, oops, don't type M in here, we're not in AutoCAD. This, enter, click on the base point, kind of move it across to that intersection there. So now it's, in theory, if the window was a brick width, it would fit in perfectly. But the windows themselves have to be built to the manufacturer's windows have to be brick widths as well. So this one here, we'll go left or right, probably closer to go to right. So it'll be move. So select that, move from there to there. So if you were to tidy it up, for example, it's just all the additional stuff, and but yeah, it's getting closer to the brick width there. So at least you're nearby rather than way off. So this one here could move left or right, for example, a bit. So that's if you build into brick dimensions. It's just a little extra exercise, that's all. All right, leave that then.